Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. That's right, this is it. Thou shalt not fall. This is episode 12, UK Outpost 31, the film review. That's right. That's right. I'm your host, Mr. Dan Nostalgia. And today's film, our treat, is Lost Boys. Released in July the 31st, 1987, directed by Joel Schumacher, screenplay by Janet Fisher, Jeffrey Boone, James Jeremias, starring Jason Patric, Kiefer Sutherland, Corey Haim, Jamie Gertz, Corey Feldman, Edward Hillman, Bernard Hughes, Diane Reeds. Cinematography by Michael Chapman. Music, Mike Thomas, Newman. Production company, Richard Donner Production. Distributed by Warner Brothers. Box office, $32.2 million from an $8.5 million budget. Plot. Mother and her two sons relocate to Santa Clara, California to move in with family due to separation circumstances. Lucy lands a job working at the video store for a man named Max Lawrence, while the older sibling, Michael, is obsessed with a mysterious girl from the area named Star, who runs a biker gang led by someone called David, another local on the scene. Sam, the youngest sibling, befriends two brothers who run a comic book store as they claim to hunt vampires, believed to exist in Santa Clara and responsible for the number of missing people, also known as the murder capital. The name's crystal clear reference to Neverland or Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. Story of youth, forever young from a vampire's point of view, which is fair enough, really. Tim Capello himself performed and featured briefly in Act 1 of the film, the track being one of the main themes and best associated song, hand in hand like Paddy March. The Lost Boys almost having a stylistic set as the Goonies, with Richard Donner almost directing the film and applying his vision. But other commitments Schumacher was put on the project, added more style, adultery theme and sexier approach through Jeffrey Boone, the game changer for Donner's vision. Donner got executive producer credits for his efforts, and you're responsible for Christopher Reeve's Command films and Lethal Weapon film series. There's not much you can do really in it. Come on, it's Richard Donner, so a legend. Plans for the cast was the Frog Brothers to be between 8 and 10, and the vampires to be in their teens, like Mikey, Chunk, Data, and Maeve hunting vampires instead of treasure. An interesting point of view. Shooting locations for Santa Clara being a false name, being a fictional place. Still filming took place in California, along with multiple locations picked for scenery like the railway bridge and the Lost Boys' home in '86. Kiefer Sutherland broke his wrist on the bike but concealed the dressing of his injury with gloves and a motorbike tailored to accommodate. Yet the gloves made the character look cool, so it was a happy accident, not so happy accident. Rambo and Chuck Norris being two inspirations for creating the Frog River character Edgar, the last line of defense against the enemy without fear, truth, justice, and the American way. Good film, brilliant. Jason Patric, he refused the role at first, but he was eventually won over and was then offered his input into the, not only towards a character, but casting, like bringing in Gertz and Diane Reeds. Joel had other ideas and candidates in mind, but these plans didn't land. Jason got the better. I provocative notion Number 1. Max Lawrence, being the head vampire with almost a Clark Kent-like personality, as he comes across as a normal, wild, mild-mannered person in a bow tie and glasses. But like Clark Kent is the other side to him. How old was he? And Max Lawrence, and how was he the original head vampire who lived for centuries? With the sequels giving us different groups of fractions of vampires throughout. But Max's character is different. Provocative notion number 2. If people knew of vampires in Santa Clara, why were locals so calm? And where were the police in terms of searching for these missing people? Or did they just remain ignorant? Norman is just didn't quite understand that. You know, would the police have been on it? Were they scared? I don't know. No one knows. The Lost Boys sequels, The Tribe and The Thirst, being released along with short stories and a comic book series featuring original characters since the film's release in 1987, almost explaining the vampire lore even more. Set between the films and other references, and a total remake supposedly set for 2025 release date, with no reports about plot casting yet or any regards on the appearance of the original cast. Interesting stuff, folks, so please pay homage to the original cast. You need to give them credits. Lost Boys being the niche for vampire films and television shows going into the late 80s, into the 1890s, one being Joss Whedon's Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the film and the TV show, and something else that was Taika Waititi was What We Do in the Shadows, released in 2014. So it's been like the backbone for any cool-minded vampire films, TV shows, adaptations. Tim Capello gaining worldwide fame, featured with friendships, dark all-day track, with heavy references and themes to Lost Boys. Still, the film is still seen as a standard motion picture, so even today, individuals involved with the film still getting roped in something related to it. Brilliant. Joel himself had penned a script for the sequel to Lost Boys with Lost Girls, hoping to bring back David, but time had passed and nothing was set in stone for development. They were hoping to bring him back because of the fact that you never seen him really die when he was impaled. Corey Haim returned for the 2008 sequel, The Tribe, keeping the original cast and star power, which I felt is on the nail. Adding Agnes Sullivan playing the role of the head vampire. And it needed, it wasn't the same as the original, but it done its job. The trilogy of films came in 2010. Feldman and Newlander turned as the Frog Brothers. Corey Feldman was given an executive producer credit, but Corey Haim wasn't cast for the third. It sadly had passed before the film's release. Much was in the pipeline for the Frog Brothers. A 4th film and a television show was in the works for the play. But Warner Premiere crumbled, sinking the Lost Boys spin-off plans too. Which, you know, they might build these plans on sand. No, building couldn't stand that. The Family Guy parody of Tim Capello as Peter on the saxophone being one of the funniest moments on the show. Yeah, that was funny. I was trying to picture him as a studious laddie. Just funny. The film's soundtrack featured many big tracks that propelled the film and vice versa, each track having its own success over the globe, stamping both the film and the soundtrack into the history books of Hollywood. Cry Little Sister and People Are Strange being the other two big hits kicks off the start of the great partnership during the 1980s and in Hollywood in general. The two poles, both iconic, huge on screen and in presence. And they were truly that. I've never seen them in the 80s that they were. The Gamba films, they were in most films, unless it was an annual Stallone film. Ben Stiller, losing it on a huge role. Had things gone differently, supposedly he auditioned with many other talents, like Kiefer Sutherland. This could have been a career-defining role for the man, or any actor at this time. It's made Sutherland and it's made the others. Stiller got the part. It had been good. I think it had been a lot different take. Alex Winter being able to land the Bill S. Preston role easier, I thought, in the villain's head in 1989 due to his affiliation to the Lost Boys over 2 years before, forever associated with greatness. He in the main cast, so that still had credits at the end, so okay. Bring them on, baby, bring them on. They say you don't hear music, you feel music. This is true. So you get the same vibe when you observe this film. The story, the concept falls in line with each scene perfectly. From Michael's obsession with Star to the Sam and Frog Brothers to the Lost Boys, right down to the background shots, the town and the sunset scenery. It's beautiful, beautiful. Each character essentially fit into the story, making the scenes more immortalized on screen, and the sense of style of the era reflected in a vampish horror approach. Max acting as the film's Dracula, but not in an obvious way or displaying the original characteristics of the mythological persona. But it was there. You could see he was done. And in the background, no one knew about one recruiter, the Nick Fury, used if you want to think that. Timed humour and one-liners worked at moments throughout this quite a teenage perspective. The Lost Boys out to the scene with not a care in the world attitude, having their kicks and living by their own rules. This film generated huge success for Warner Brother and everyone else involved, from the cast, director, screenplay writers, producer, executive producer, wardrobe designer, score, makeup artists, all looked at in different ways after Lost Boys and many years still later. Only downside maybe more horror or vampire attacks shown, just could have turned up the dial on the horror maybe. In honesty, this is one of the highlights of the 80s for horror. Lost Boys creates its own laying on the vampire lore and how each adaptation is different. That'll show up for. I'm going to give this a rating of 4.5 out of 5. So I want to go into my last segment of the day. What have you been watching? A Fistful of Dollars now. Yes, still on the Sergio Leone catalogue. Love the story. Plot. Definitely one of Clint's best. But watching this reminded me of Last Man Standing with Bruce Willis and Christopher Walken. But I'll tell you what, that film is that is amazing. It's a brilliant film. I met Christopher Walken in 2001. Nice man to talk to. Didn't say much, but he was pleasant. Yeah. And Last Man Standing. I'm lost off track there. Last Man Standing. Still, it's got the same story and plot, but set in a different era. Still a decent film regardless. But it's definitely reminded me of A Fistful of Dollars. The only thing was that we got no Clint in there, but you still have Bruce. So next up, a few dollars more. Yes, that's that one. So, I hope you hit like. I hope you hit the subscribe. I hope you get notified. And I want to say thank you for the views. Please, please help the cause. My next spin-off show is already in the works, and we're hoping to air it on YouTube within next month. So please stay tuned, stay focused, look after yourself and everyone else around you, please. And thank you for everything. I'm Dan Nostalgia, and this is UK 8 Post 31.